Hello everyone, I'm Alisha Rakunia and this is my first video ever on my channel here on YouTube. I have been teaching psychology full time for the last 6 years and currently I work as a teacher educator in a leading teacher training institute, namely the Nirmala Institute of Education in Goa, India. Here at the institute, we aim to build budding trainees into smart, determined and versatile teachers for the future. Lately, a lot of teachers have had to start working from home, teaching mostly online because of COVID-19. Well, I'm just one of those many trying to reach out to the student community at large. One of the best things about being a teacher is that you get to connect with new people from time to time. I personally love to share knowledge. I like to tell people what I know. Hence, in my channel, I shall be covering various topics based on psychology and teacher education. I shall try to keep my content versatile and my videos brief and very specific. So please help me reach out to you by giving me a like, share and subscribe. So let's get started with our first class. When we hear the word psychology or when I tell people that I have studied the subject, that is psychology, people immediately tend to ask me the same old cliche question. Whoa, so you can read my mind? And the answer to which is undoubtedly a big no. Psychologists, counselors and psychiatrists cannot read thoughts, but they sure do analyze body language and observe behavior. They conduct tests and use their expertise that they have gained over time to analyze individuals. A lot of people also have the common misconception that people who have studied psychology work with crazy people or are themselves crazy. Well, all of this is absolutely wrong. I am not crazy and neither are my students or any of you who are studying or have previously studied psychology. Also, it is about time that we stop calling people mad and cuckoo and the stigma attached to people who are seeking counseling or any other type of psychological help or assistance from a professional counselor. Sometimes individuals have issues and it's really amazing when they seek help in order to help themselves to nurture their mental health. People seek counseling for various reasons. When we have a pain in our tooth, we see a dentist. And when we don't seem to feel right, or when we have anxiety or are feeling low, it's totally justified to seek help from a counselor. Students usually would go ahead and ask the same rhetorical question, which would be, is this an easy subject? Will I be able to use psychological concepts in my daily life? And the list goes on. To sum all of this up, psychology is a technical subject. It is multidimensional. It is an interesting subject. And if you find it interesting, I'm sure you'd want to learn more and be better at it. Our topic for today is Introduction to Psychology. We shall be covering two main areas under this topic. Firstly, the history of psychology and second, the relevance of psychology. Psychology is the science of the mind and human behavior. It aims to understand our underlying mental functions, physiological and biological processes, and internal mechanisms. Things that determine our actions and our behavior, why we think, feel, and act in a particular manner. Though psychology has been a distinct discipline for only about 150 years, efforts to understand human behavior did begin centuries before. In a philosophical context, psychology seemed to originate around thousands of years ago in ancient Greece, Egypt, India, Persia, and China. Hippocrates, Aristotle, and Plato addressed the working of the mind as early as the 4th century BC. Plato suggested that the brain is where mental processes take place, and Aristotle suggested that it was the heart. Psychology was earlier known to be a branch of philosophy until the 18th-17th century, where it developed as an independent discipline in Germany and the US. The first laboratory established exclusively for psychological research was established by Wilhelm Wundt in Leipzig, Germany in 1879. He, instead of the soul, was interested to study about the conscious mind. Wilhelm Wundt is the first psychologist and is also known as the father of psychology. After that, in 1890, an American philosopher, William James, published a book entitled Principles of Psychology. It was discussed by psychologists worldwide for many decades. In the same year, New York State passed the State Care Act, in which people with mental health problems were to leave poor houses and enter the hospital for treatment. In 1890, the American Psychological Association, which we also call the APA, was founded under the leadership of G. Stanley Hall. Now, the word psychology was formed from two Greek words, that is psyche and logos. Psyche means breath, principle of life, life and soul, while logos means speech, word and science. According to the APA, we define psychology as the scientific study of human and animal behavior. There are many other definitions of psychology as well, among which the ones proposed by Skinner, Boring, Wordsworth and Watson can be considered to be rather important. The definition that we shall learn today is psychology is defined as the science which studies mental processes, experiences and behavior in different contexts. Now, let us look at this definition a little closely. There are several concepts under this definition. Firstly, mental processes. When we refer to mental processes, we refer to the mind and brain. The mind is what we cannot see. It develops from our experiences. Brain is something that we know is in our skull. We can locate it and we can also see it. It can be seen. When I am trying to recite a poem or when I try to solve an algebraic problem, my neural activity can very well be assessed. The brain and the mind are very much interdependent on each other. The second concept is experiences. Now, if I am feeling happy or sad, only I know what I am going through. How Rihanna must have felt when she received her 9 Grammys is known only to her and not to us, right? Hence, we can say that experiences are very subjective in nature. They are personal to people. The third aspect is behavior. Now, if I am smiling or frowning or shutting my eyes, all of this can be seen outside. Hence, it is called overt behavior. The opposite of this is covert behavior or internal behavior, the one that cannot be seen on the outside. Like if I am using my imagination or if I am thinking which teaching technique would be best suited to teach geography in class 5, none of it can be seen on the outside, but it surely does exist. Behavior can either be simple or complex. When behavior occurs as a reflex action, it is simple. But if you are, let's say, a participant in a debate or a quiz, it will be complex behavior. The most important feature of psychology is that it is a science. In other words, psychology as a discipline is scientific in nature. Psychology as a discipline is referred to be both a natural as well as a social science. Psychology as a natural science deals with data collection and verification like other sciences. It is concerned with experimentation and objectivity. Psychology as a social science deals with humans. Humans are a part of the environment and society. Hence, it deals with man in its social context. No man can live as an island, and we know that we all are social beings. Many go to think that a psychologist, a counselor, and a psychiatrist are all the same. Well, the answer is no. Though they may work together to provide mental health, psychiatry deals with the prescription of medicine. Doctors who have medical degrees like MBBS or MD, who have the license to prescribe medication to treat disorders, are psychiatrists. Counselors and psychologists use therapeutic ways of dealing with problems. They do not have medical training. They use techniques to relieve the symptoms of psychological disorders and to help people understand the reasons for their respective problems. So, what is the relevance of psychology? Let me probe you with a question there. Have you ever heard of any of these sayings? No food will ever hurt you as much as an unhealthy mind, or doctors cannot make you healthy, or good health is more than just exercise and diet. So the relevance of psychology comes into play when we talk about our daily life and health. A healthy body and mind leads to a happy life. And the study of psychology could help us to understand ourselves and others around us and to develop a healthy mind, a life, and a lifestyle. Psychology has various branches associated to most aspects of life. For example, clinical psychology, child psychology, forensic psychology, health psychology, social psychology, etc. Some say that psychology as a subject is a social science. Some colleges have BA in psychology, so it is in the humanities department of the college, while some others have a BSc degree in psychology, which would be under the science department. In most teacher training or most teacher education colleges, we study developmental and educational psychology. The study of developmental psychology is essential to understanding how humans learn, mature, and adapt. Educational psychology is that branch of psychology in which the findings of psychology are applied in the field of education. It is the scientific study of human behavior in an educational setting. According to Charles E. Skinner, educational psychology deals with the behavior of human beings in educational situation. Thus, educational psychology is a behavioral science with two main references. One, that is human behavior, and the other one is, of course, education. Psychologists working in education study how people learn and retain knowledge. They apply psychological science to improve the learning process and promote educational success for all students to have all-round development. To summarize, today we have touched upon the following topics: introduction and history of psychology, definition of psychology, relevance of psychology, and common misconceptions related to the study of this subject of psychology. The science of psychology benefits society and enhances our lives. Psychologists examine the relationships between brain function and behavior, and the environment and behavior, applying what they learn to illuminate our understanding and improve the world around us. This is an educational channel, so let's give the hate comments at bay and instead be positive and look forward to learning for a better life. Thank you.